Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I am very excited to be here today because I am closing out January. January has ended today. Today is January 31st and I want to close out my sinking funds and I want to close out our savings tracker. And really it's very simple for me because my sinking funds are annual expenses or, semi-annual or whatever expenses. I don't have a lot of transactions that happen on here. It just builds up in savings until I need it and then boom, I've got it. So that's going to happen today. And then what I'm doing is saving for different things in my savings account for 6-month emergency fund, my husband's travel expense, to pay for any travel expenses that he has. We have a little bit in savings that cover that. And then when he gets reimbursed, we just put it back in savings. So we're just using that same amount over and over again. We're not actually interfering with the budget. Jeep savings is a project for him. Dividends, and because we get dividends in our savings accounts, I have a category for that so I can keep track of what that is. And anything else that I need to put in that savings, I kind of list it right here so I know what is in these accounts and what they're used for. So if you're interested in finding out what our sinking funds are, what our savings tracker is all about, stay tuned and we will start that video. Okay, I am back. So here's the sinking funds. And this is going to be quick and easy because I had 0 transactions taken out of my sinking funds. January is just not a month I have where I spend it out of my sinking funds. Most of my sinking funds are annual expenses, like once a year Amazon Prime. Once a year I do Disney Plus. It's cheaper than paying the $6.99 if I do it the $69.99 for the year. I save about $13 or so. Apple subscription for my Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all the package suite for Microsoft Office that goes to through Apple. That's on my Mac. That's where that subscription is coming from, and that's how I build it up throughout the year. Orkin is our termite and spray. So there's a termite contract once a year. It's $2.99. At least I hope it's going to be $2.99 again this year too. And that it's an annual thing, as well as our quarterly bug spray to make sure we keep all the pests out. And so far that's been working really well for us. So I saved that. And next month in February, we'll actually be using that. And so you'll see that transaction happen. Heating and AC is a contract we also have for our home. We own our home. We do have a mortgage on it, but we own it. And so we're responsible for all these things. And I want to make sure that our heater and our AC is up running on top condition. And in order to do that, I have a contract where they come out in the spring and in the fall and they maintenance it and make sure it looks good. And if there's anything weird going on, they can kind of let us know if it needs fixing. So that's what the heating and AC is for. And then it also gives us priority if we need a service call. So I like that feature. City of Chesapeake, we do have to pay property taxes on our vehicles. I don't understand why. We bought the vehicle. I've never paid property tax until I moved to Virginia, and I still can't comprehend why. So anyways, we do have to pay the City of Chesapeake for these property tax for our vehicles that depreciate every year. And so in order to pay the amount that they're requesting, I just take what we paid last year and then also take what we paid in stormwater, which is twice a year, and combine it all together and then divide it by 12. And that gives me the amount I need to put away every month, a little bit every month, to have what I need for that property tax when the bill comes in June. So May or June, I can't remember which. And then my least favorite category, because it breaks my heart, senior year 2021. And you know what? I wrote that wrong. That's embarrassing. That's this school year. It's 21-22. Thankfully, I have erasable pens. Oh, 21. That's how much it breaks my heart. I just wrote it wrong. 22. My son graduates high school from in the June of 2022, and yeah. But by September of 2021, when he starts school in the fall, he starts right after Labor Day, I want to make sure I have $1,200 put aside in this account, so when things come up like school photos or yearbooks or class ring, if he decides to get one, he hasn't decided yet. He doesn't really want one because he doesn't wear jewelry, but I don't know, he might want one later. Anything that he may need to have for his senior year, I want to make sure I have enough money for it. And I'm basing it off the same amount that we spent on my other son, who graduated in 2017 from the same high school. So that is that. Cell phone and technology, that's a revolving thing. We just keep adding $100 a month, let it build, and then somebody needs a cell phone, we just pay cash for it. Or if we need a laptop, we pay cash for it. We need anything, we pay cash for it. Cash, cash, cash. That's why we do sinking funds, is so we can pay cash and not use credit and go into debt when it's unnecessary. So Christmas, we want to have some money put aside and not just rely on what the family provides. And so we're just putting a little bit away every month for that. And vacation, hot water heater, they last about 8 to 12 years on average. At least that's what it said on Google. And we had one replaced here a year ago, and we want to make sure when the time comes, and I know we can do home warranties and stuff, but we had such a horrible experience with a home warranty that we refuse to get a new hot water heater through a home warranty or any other appliances. But right now we're just focused on that one. And so we're just going to leave that in and have that replaced in a few years when it's time. So for the month, we started out $1,575.43. We added $468.92, where 26 cents of that was actually dividends for the month put into the account. And then now we're up to $2,044.35. So that is our sinking funds in a nutshell right now. Next month, in February, Orkin we will use for a spray. And that's about it. That's all I got for sinking funds. Now, this page does go longer if you need more lines. I do sell these in my Etsy store, and I do have the numbers down here, but it was just easier for reference because mine are shorter to have it up here. But I have an Etsy store. It's Lisa's Faith Budget Plan. And if you're interested in any of these budget sheets, you can look in the description box below, or just go to Etsy and put Lisa's Faith Budget Plan in, and you will find my shop. And you can purchase these sheets. They're relatively inexpensive sheets, very cheap. Downloadable printables where you can print these off. You can print them in color, and you get them downloaded in color. But if you have black and white, you don't have to print them in color. You can print them in black and white, and they still look pretty cute. And so easy peasy printables for you to keep track of your sinking funds and budgets and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to look at savings tracker. So here's the savings tracker, and it's not very long just because, in a savings tracker, I kind of run my savings tracker like a sinking fund account, because within the savings account, there are multiple things I'm saving for, and this is how I track them. So what I have here is my emergency starter fund. Now, if I had to borrow or use this $1,000 emergency starter fund that Dave Ramsey recommends in the Financial Peace University, then I would have to rebuild that up. But I didn't have to use it, thankfully. We had cash and other means to take care of things. And so I'm going to put $0 here. And we didn't add anything, and we didn't take anything out. Oops, that goes there. There we go. So we ended with $1,000 still in the savings account for the starter emergency fund. Now the 6-month expenses savings, or the fully funded emergency fund that we're working on, because we are debt-free, consumer debt-free. We still have a mortgage, but we do not have any credit card debt. We do not have any school loans. We do not have personal debt or personal loans or anything like that. Car loans, nothing. We're just putting all our, well, not all of our, but at least $1,000, if not more, extra income or extra money from our income into this 6 month of expenses. So basically, essentially, this was our old snowball to pay towards debt. Now we're putting it towards savings. So we added this month $1,000, and we took $0 out because we didn't need it. So now we're up to $2,000. Now I know the baby emergency fund and the 6-month fund, I don't have to separate it out, and that's fine. I just like seeing it. What did we start with in the starter emergency fund, and then what are we growing separate for the 6-month expenses? So we started the 6-month emergency fund in December. So December and January, that's why we're up to $2,000. This $1,000 has been there for a couple years now, since we began the Dave Ramsey program. So that's done and done. Travel expense, I did not add anything to this. I will be taking out of this once the money hits the account here in February, because my husband just did some traveling and the charges haven't come through. But they will next month. So I will deduct from here this savings account and use that money to pay ourselves back for what was paid for expenses. And then when my husband gets a paycheck that has the reimbursement, we'll put the deposit back in the savings. So that's good there. Jeep savings, let's see here. Jeep savings, we added $983 even. So part of this was the $824.85 of VA education benefits that my husband got this past month, plus $125 plus $33. I'm not sure why the $33, but the rest of it was VA education money that came in, and so I put that there. We haven't taken it out. He just got back last night, and so right now, let's see, we have $2,783, and I'm gonna make sure that's right. I know it's early in the day for me, so I haven't really woken up yet. Plus 983, that looks right. Yes. So that is the total amount my husband has in his Jeep savings, and this is just basically VA education deposits where we're getting the money from, and he's still deciding whether he's going to do it or not. I have no idea. I don't know if he's talked himself out of it or what, but you know, I hope he didn't, because he's been looking forward to this for so long now. So $4 in dividends. So we started with $3.20, and I've only been tracking this for the past few months. So there's always change of some sort in dividends going into our accounts, and sometimes we just incorporate it in the total and then we end up spending it or not. So right now we're up to $4. And then I have this new category, overpayments and paycheck. Oh my. So my husband's company overpaid us, and so I had to put the money somewhere until they withdraw it out of his paycheck, which they have not done yet. And that was $637.49. And we didn't use any of that because they did not take it out all at once out of his next paycheck. In fact, he got paid like normal. And so, yeah, that's a thing. And we don't know when they're going to do it. And so we're just waiting and see. So if we do not move this, and we don't necessarily need it because my husband did go out to sea, he does get overtime for doing that. That overtime money is dedicated to this 6-month emergency fund. So we might just move this overpayment into here, leave whatever the overtime money is in this amount in checking if it does come out next paycheck, and then we'll just move the money once. And that's the whole point, is I have to decide how often do I want to move the money in savings, because after 6 transfers, you start getting charged. And nobody wants to pay a penalty or a charge on anything when they're trying to save money. So I do as minimal transfers as possible. Now this savings account is totally different than my sinking fund savings account. It's 2 separate ones. I have a personal savings account that is savings for me and my business. I don't use the savings side of it. I only use the checking side. And so I just dedicated that to our sinking funds. Now, because I own one savings account and checking account, and then I'm joint on another, I can move money back and forth very easily between the 2 accounts. Now, my joint account with my husband, this is where all this money is, and it's completely separate from the other one. So now we need to do all the totals. So I'm just going to put total here. Even though I have a line down at the bottom, I'm going to put total here because I didn't use very many lines. And then we're going to total all this up. So I'm going to go across, do all the numbers, and I'll come back and we'll go over those numbers. So I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So these are the totals. I started out with $4,509.45. We added in total, including dividends for the account, $2,621.29. We didn't take any money out, and we are up to $7,130.74. So I think this is pretty awesome. As far as what we have in our account. I wish that was our total emergency fund, but I know it's not because my husband has specific things that he wants to save up for, and then part of it's his travel expense, and then where they overpaid us in money. But if anything changes and we're not using these other categories, all of it will go into the emergency fund. So we will always have a travel expense until he changes jobs or decides this is not the job for him anymore, where he needs money put aside for that. But other than that, the rest of these we probably won't have to have. We only really need the emergency funds and his travel expense. The rest of it is just goals for us to keep track of. And so, yeah, that's a pretty significant amount. I'm happy with where we're at and where it's going. And yeah, this is our savings tracker. So I hope your savings has gone well this month, and that you're slowly but surely building your savings tracker. It's been, a year and a half or so since we've been able to really focus on savings. So this is the first time in a long time we really could build anything. Our savings has been really low. And just the $1,000 or maybe $2,000 at the most between the two accounts, and never this high. Not in a really long time. So I'm really excited to see this number grow. Once I start seeing our 6-month emergency fund grow to about $5,000, I'm going to look into a money market account where it has a little bit higher dividends, but it's still easily accessed when needed, so that whenever emergency happens, if we have to live off that money for 6 months, then we have that money available. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section below. And I hope you have an amazing and blessed day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.